So yeah, my name is Mansoor. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the ever merciful. First of all, start with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, which means, may the peace and blessings of God be upon you all. He stole my thunder. I was going to start with this. So my name is Mansoor and I'm from a little village which some of you may know called Birmingham. Now that joke really works well down south because they all laugh at us up in the north, but I guess it might not work that well here. Looking around the room, I think someone has pointed out already, and it didn't really occur to me. It's meant as no way of an offence at all. But I think I may be one of the youngest people in this room. And that kind of puts me in a unique position because I see the world almost, as they say, young people see the world as their oyster, or we're here to experience all the wonderful things all throughout our life. And I really do feel like I'm in that kind of position right now. Starting out in the beginning of my life, and of course hailing from the beautiful place of Birmingham, moving to the not so beautiful place of London, but nevertheless loving it now, having lived there for 10 years. I'm experiencing different cultures, different languages, and different people from different backgrounds. Flicking through the newspapers, sorry, I don't have a nice presentation, so you're going to have to bear with my ugly mug for the rest of the speech. Looking through our newspapers or flicking through the TV channels, I think we would all agree that in one way or another, be it the news of Joe Cox's death, be it in the news of international warfare around the world, of course, much warfare is there and military intervention is there to promote peace. Of course, that's not always the case. We're looking around the world, we see that the world is in turmoil. Be that in terms of our own self-identity, be that in terms of the level of marriages that are breaking up, be that in terms of youth being radicalised at ridiculously young ages. I mean, I'm not an old guy. I'm quite a young person, I'd like to think so anyway. My wife may say something different, but nevertheless. I just came from a week spring retreat, which the community organised for youth members from the age of 12 to 18. I just got back at 6 o'clock this morning, so if I don't make much sense, then please do bear with me. And it was surprising to see how these young people were acting as if they were 20 or 30. The amount they knew about the things going on around us. I had no clue at that age, even though it was, 10, 15 years ago, but I was nowhere near as aware of my surroundings as some of these children are nowadays. And it's scary to think. I met a lovely gentleman here, I can't see you right now, but a lovely gentleman working with Taiwan, there he is over there. And again, the same thing is coming through, that people need to be educated. And often right now, because of the access of so much information, how easy it is to access wrong information, right information, and misconstrued information via platforms such as Facebook and other social media venues, we don't understand what's true and what's not, and that is the core problem. We don't understand what's right and what's wrong, and that's something that we have to, hopefully today, have a little bit of a look at as well. History throughout time, of course, has shown us humanity at its best. I don't need to go into the examples, there's loads. But also humanity at its worst. Be that the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Stalin's Holodomor against the Ukraine, the Holocaust, the Crusades, whatever the reasons behind it, we still see that during those events we've seen humanity at its very worst. When people have lost their humanity, they've lost their justice, they've lost their tolerance, they've lost their responsibility, and indeed they've lost their respect. But I hear it. What right does a Muslim have to say this? When we look at some of the countries around the world, many of these so-called Islamic countries are the worst in regards to their infringement upon people's human rights. The very worst in terms of putting a homosexual in a cage and drowning him, or letting vicious animals kill people, or throwing people off the top of a building. We see these things. We see them as Muslims and we're horrified as well. We open up the newspapers and we see the names of Muslims who claim to be from the religion of Islam, who commit heinous and atrocious and callous attacks. It hurts us as Muslims and it hurts us as humans. So in order for us to understand it, in order for you to understand why this Ahmadiyya Muslim community is organising an event for peace, if you bear with me, I want to go into a couple of examples. We believe, as Muslims, that there are only two things that we take our knowledge from. The Quran, which is our scripture, our holy scripture, and the example of the